Fox News resident liberal and Democrat mouthpiece Chris Wallace decided to battle with Kellyanne Conway and came up short. After parroting talking points for the majority of the interview on Sunday, the counselor to the president blew his doors off. Wallace said to Conway that the president telling Americans something that is not true by saying he was totally exonerated by the Mueller report. The Barr memo talks about no obstructive conduct, Conway said. Also, nobody at the Department of Justice felt like the investigation was interfered with. I'm asking specifically about obstruction. I do want to keep you on point, Wallace shot back, pushing Conway. The president is probably comparing that report and the ultimate conclusions of no conspiracy, no collusion, no contact with any Russian at a campaign that I managed into its final successful phases, Conway said. She told Wallace that she has always been offended that anybody would think that we would cheat to win the election. I'm agreeing with you on collusion, Wallace shot back at Conway. I'm asking you about obstruction though. Well, we'll see what the full Mueller report says, but there's nowhere in the Barr report that says the president obstructed justice, she said. There's nowhere in the Barr memo that says you or I obstructed justice. The interview continued to be contentious, but then Wallace decided that he would cross the line and ask Conway about her husband's opposition to President Trump. I don't really like to discuss this publicly, she said. It's unusual for Washington to, because I think that many women tend to get their power and their position through the men in their lives, and this is a little bit different. I'm sure the feminists are going to throw me a parade at some point. That is when Wallace went too far. I don't want you to fight, he said. I guess the question I have to ask, bottom line, final question, has this hurt your marriage? And Conway lit him like a Christmas tree. What are you, Oprah now? What? Am I on a couch and you are a psychiatrist? I think it's a really inappropriate question. And here's why, she said. That's the line over which nobody should have crossed. So, if you want to talk about policy issues, policy disagreement, the fact that George Conway, my husband, would prefer that I not work in the White House, I guess you can ask those questions, Conway said. The president has weighed in. I've weighed in as modestly as I can. But now you're asking a very personal question, and I would say to you, you should go ask it of many people. I see messy lives living in glass houses all over both cities in which I live, she said. I'm surprised that people would ask that question, she said. I have seen homewreckers on TV as marital experts all of a sudden. It's very amusing to me, but I think people knew they crossed the line when they're talking about people's marriages. My family has a right to their private life also, she said. I have children who are 14, 11 and 9. And the reason it gets so much coverage, particularly by the mainstream media, is because George Conway now agrees with them.